Hi, and welcome to Focus on English. This is a calm English podcast for listening and real conversations. Let's begin.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. This session is really tailor-made for you. If you're focused on leveling up your conversational English. We're aiming for that, that really useful B1 level. We're not just going to give you definitions.
No, not at all. We're going deep into the sources to give you the real-world context, the things you need to sound natural.
Exactly.
We've looked at a whole stack of sources for this one, travel blogs, study guides, even bits from a fantasy novel, all to pull out three very, very practical words.
And these are words you'll see everywhere.
Constantly. They're essential building blocks for getting fluent.
And these three words, they're connected, in how we deal with daily life, with
There's a
challenges.
sequence to them.
Right, a sequence. So we're looking at aware.
Then Matt.
And finally, avoid. The whole idea is, first, you become aware of something, a problem or a goal. Then you try to manage it.
And then you decide what you need to avoid.
Let's jump in and break down that first one, slowly and clearly.
Okay, so our first word it's an adjective, aware.
I'm aware!
Spelled A-W-A-R-E.
Aware.
And simply put, if you're aware of something, it just means you know about it.
Or you've noticed it.
Exactly. It's all about that knowledge or that realization that something is happening.
And the key structure here is pretty simple, really. Aware almost always follows the verb to be. So, I am aware, you are aware.
Yes, but let's dig into the prepositions. That's where it can get a little tricky for learners.
That's a point.
The most common structure you'll hear is be aware of something. And that something can be a noun or a verb ending in ing.
So you could say, we must be aware of the risks.
Perfect. We must be aware of the risks of traveling alone. Or you could ask someone, are you aware of the speed limit on this road?
Okay, that makes sense. But our source materials also showed another common way to use it, one that adds a bit more depth. Aware that.
Right, and you use aware that when you follow it with a full sentence, a complete idea.
So it's not just a noun, it's a whole situation.
Exactly. You might say, I was aware that the meeting had been canceled. See, you're aware that the meeting was canceled is a true fact.
Let's use an example from our sources. We had this character, Alex the Traveler. He's planning his flight. To avoid trouble, you should be aware of your luggage limits before you get to the airport. He needs to know the rules.
And for learning English, it's about paying attention, isn't it? Like, it's important to be aware of how your words sound when you practice pronunciation.
Oh, that's a great example. If you aren't listening, you can't improve.
You can't.
Okay, let's try a quick conversation. Let's imagine we're travelers walking down a busy street where there are warnings about safety.
Okay.
So, we just passed a sign warning about pickpockets. Are you aware of how common that is around here?
Yes, I am aware of the general warnings. I always try to be aware of my surroundings in a new place.
Me too.
I'm also aware that sometimes thieves use distraction techniques. You know, like in this story where someone bumped into Alex.
That's such a good distinction. Aware of the warnings, but aware that a specific technique is used. That really elevates your English.
It does. And if you're aware of the risks, well, you can better prepare for the next step.
Which brings us very smoothly to our second word, the verb manage.
Manage.
M-A-N-A-G-E.
Yes.
This word is all about what you do after you become aware of a situation. It's how you handle it.
Manage is so versatile. You really need to know its two main meanings. The first one is to control or handle something.
Like a business or your time.
A business, your time, a project, anything like that. And the second meaning is to succeed in doing something, especially if it was difficult.
And both of those meanings were all over our sources. In the English-speaking test criteria, it said a good speaker can manage the vocabulary for the topic.
Right, which means they handle the language successfully, they control the conversation.
What about things you can't see? Like abstract things?
Oh, absolutely. Manage is often used with abstract nouns. Students need to learn how to manage their time. Or think about emotions. In that fantasy story about the dark magic man, Morak, it said he couldn't manage his strong feelings. He lost control.
Wait, so even a dark magic man couldn't manage his feelings? Suddenly, I feel a lot better about not being able to manage my email inbox.
Chuckles. Right.
But a question on that. Can you manage something badly? We talk about it like it's a success, but can you use it for failure?
That is an excellent point. Usually for that succeed meaning, we use it positively. Did you manage to find a flight? If you fail, you just say, I couldn't manage it.
Okay.
But for the control meaning, you can absolutely manage a business or a team or your finances badly. You could say the owner managed the company very poorly.
That makes perfect sense. So it's about the quality of the control. Okay, let's go back to that success meaning. For example, you could say, she manages to work, study, and travel all in the same year.
Yes, that highlights her success. Or back to travel. Imagine you're trying to book a rental car online, but the website keeps
A
crashing.
very common problem.
Very common. You might ask your friend, did you finally manage to book the car for your trip?
Let's practice that. So let's say you were trying to get tickets for a sold-out concert.
Okay, I'm trying.
I was hoping to go to the afternoon show, but the site was just so busy. Did you manage to get tickets before they sold out?
I tried 3 times this morning, and the payment failed twice. But yes, I finally managed to complete the purchase by using a different computer.
So it was stressful, but you did it.
It was, but I succeeded.
A perfect example. You managed a difficult task. You handled the challenge.
Exactly. And if you are aware of risks and you manage your tasks, then you can move on to our final word.
This is that sequence again. If you're aware of a problem and you manage your resources, the next logical step is to avoid the negative result. So avoid.
Avoiding you. Avoiding me.
A-V-O-I-D. It's a verb, and it's so often used for giving advice or warnings.
It means to stay away from something or to, stop something bad from happening. For learners, the grammar that follows avoid is the most important thing to get right here.
Right. You can avoid a thing, a noun, or you can avoid an action, and for that you use the verb plus ing form, the gerund.
Get that structure right, and you sound very fluent. So you could say, I always avoid the busiest street. That's avoid plus a noun.
The busiest street, okay.
And for an action, I try to avoid eating late at night. You must use that ing form of the verb.
Let's go back to Alex the Traveler.
Yeah.
To avoid losing everything if he was robbed again, the advice in the source material was really clear.
What did it say?
It said, travelers should avoid keeping all their money and cards in one place.
That's such important advice. And avoid is critical for saving money too. Remember the stuff about currency exchange?
I do.
If you're aware of the high fees at the airport, you can avoid paying them. You just plan ahead and go to a local bank.
So avoid helps us make better choices to prevent bad things from happening. Let's practice that. Let's say I'm traveling.
Okay.
I always worry about paying too much when I'm in a new country. What steps can I take to avoid being overcharged?
That's a very good question. To avoid being overcharged, I always check the bill carefully before I pay.
Even if it's busy.
Especially if it's busy. I also avoid carrying large amounts of cash. It's just safer.
That's smart. So you're actively taking steps to avoid trouble before it can even start. What about for studying? What's a common mistake learners should avoid?
Oh, they should absolutely avoid trying to learn too many complex grammar rules all at once. It just leads to frustration.
Good one.
And, avoid comparing yourself to native speakers all the time. Just focus on your own progress.
That was a really practical deep dive into 3 essential words. Let's just quickly review them.
Let's do it.
So, aware. It's about knowing or realizing something. Remember, you're aware of the facts or you're aware that something is happening.
Then manage. That means either to control a situation, like managing stress, or it means to successfully finish a difficult task. So, did you manage to understand all our examples?
And finally, avoid. That's about actively staying away from something bad. And the structure is key. Avoid plus a noun, or avoid plus a verb with ing.
These are just the kind of high-frequency words that build a foundation for real communication in English, in travel, in study.
In daily decisions.
Exactly. Mastering them in context like this is just the fastest way to start sounding fluent and, confident.
And confidence is so important. As you go out and use these words, try to connect them to your own life. The source material reminded us, don't just learn definitions.
Apply them.
Apply them. Because remember what we found in those guides to successful learning. What you believe, you can achieve. Try to use aware, manage, and avoid in your own sentences today.
Keep practicing. You will see the progress.
Thanks for diving deep with us. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening. If this podcast helps you practice English, feel free to subscribe.